modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.
You.
What's up?
I'm happy that you decided to interview with me today. So for those entering the room, I do see y'all for private accounts, they have taken away the gifting option, so you won't be able to gift me. But if you can just tap the screen, I'd appreciate it. I don't get much traction in my room, but I do put my interviews on YouTube and I'll provide you with the link, Shavoo. So are you ready?
Well,
Okay, so I want to just welcome everybody into the echo chamber. This is an FBA safe space, and today we are interviewing with one of our beloved hosts, right, who stands on lineage business, especially when it comes to hip hop's origins. If the Latinos participated or contributed, he sets the record straight on his platform. So I'm going to
I
start
wasn't the
off with
first.
the huh?
Well, I
I know
wasn't the
you wasn't
first.
the first. I said you was.
I know I'm
I
just
said,
teasing.
did I say first or did I say you stand on lineage business? What did I say, Shavu?
I was playing with you.
Okay.
I was
You
being
know, I
humble.
gotta. I'm sensitive, so I take everything, a different way. So I want to discuss the foundation and historical claim. So, New York City's geography, right? The impact of the 1863 draft rights on historical settlements in Soho and across New York City. Why is it vital to say that FBA heritage built New York City? So we've been attacked by every immigration demographic there is that was dumped into New York, right? And then for some reason they have anti-Black American sentiments, but then turn around and say either they built New York or that our culture is just New York culture. So why is it important to declare and tell the truth that New York City is basically built on the backs of FBA by the sweat, blood, and tears, the hard work of FBA, and our heritage runs this culture of New York City.
Standard situation what's going on in New York City now. New York City has a huge population of different ethnic groups from different backgrounds from other countries. You have a lot of Latinos, you have Africans, Caribbeans, so on and so forth. And they came here in large numbers. And that's important because they came here and established their own culture within the city way after New York City was even built. So they feel they have claim to the whole history of in New York City, where really a lot of these people really didn't start coming here until around over probably 60 to 70 years ago in large numbers. But overall, the whole roots of New York City has always been built by Black Americans. It was just erased, or at least they try to erase it. It's always
Yeah,
been
I
like that
find
with Black history.
right. I find that a lot of New York City history is hidden, right? And right now we are, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on in the interview, but right now we have an issue with Ghana being here in New York. They're in talks with the Caribbean, with some Chinese, with a group called Group 77, and another group, which I believe are all Pan African. And what they're going to do is table a resolution at the UN and then go to the African burial ground. The African burial ground was a hidden mass grave of our ancestors, right?
Hmm.
And so they were re-impaired after being studied, doing DNA and all that other stuff. And Ghana is going there to place a wreath on this gravesite, trying to kind of latch themselves on to the history of the burial ground. But hear this: when they first found the grave sites, Ghana sent 400 coffins for them to be buried again. And it just seems like some weird ritual to me. But if you would like to give your thoughts on that now, how some African nations are spinning the block saying they deserve reparations and now want to come visit our ancestors' final resting place? Hi, Melrose.
I'm sorry, was that a question? Repeat that last part again.
Yeah, I said, do you want to give your thoughts now about how some African nations seem to have spun the block and now are saying they deserve reparations, and how Ghana is going to attach themselves to the African burial ground.
It's ridiculous. They have no claims to reparations as far as it goes back to slavery. And you have to understand slavery, of course, which was one of the main. You can't talk about American history without slavery. They have no claim to that. I don't know where they get that disposition from. I don't know where in the history felt that they deserve for reparations for anything, but reparations as far as with slavery, and not just slavery. There were many atrocities that happened after slavery that Black Americans, you know, are owed reparations to from the United States government. But mainly we're talking about slavery. Immigrants, African immigrants, whether they're African Caribbean, they have no claim to reparations because their ancestors wasn't affected by the consequence and the cruelty of slavery and anything after that. They're not freedmen. They come from established lands already. So I don't understand where they're getting this mindset from. But it really doesn't matter where they get this mindset from because they have no proof or claim to even get reparations from the United States government. So any claim that they think they have as far as claiming any type of reparations from the United States government as it regards to slavery and anything after that towards discrimination, the answer is no. They have none.
It's just exhausting seeing them come there. You know, the ones who are so braggadocious, we come here, we do better than you. Meanwhile, they're in our reparations hearing, sabotaging, voting no, or saying that they demand to be on the docket with us. But now I kind of want to switch to the hip hop origins debate. And I want to ask you, are the Afro diasporan accounts of co-creating hip hop in the Bronx accurate, or is the FBA origin the only historically verified narrative? When I say Afro descendant, I do mean the Latino community as well. Some of them have African descent too.
Well, it's clear cut and dry where hip hop came from. And Puerto Ricans or Caribbeans, there's no evidence of them helping create it. Now they became a part of the movement after it was created, but as far as the creating the whole essence of hip hop, it's simply just not true. It's not the founders of hip hop already spoken already. They already said where they got their music from and stuff like that. So as far as with that, it just doesn't exist. They just feel they claim, like I said, proximity. Close proximity doesn't mean that you have claim to culture. And they getting the whole thing all messed up. They getting it conflated. That's not how that works.
Thank you. I see y'all coming into the room. I'm a private account, so they have taken away the gift that option. But if y'all could just tap the screen, that'll do wonders for me too. So Shavoo, I want to ask you, you did tell me you saw Godfrey's statements on hip hop and the Jamaican influence or Caribbean influence of hip hop. And then he said that should be the end of the talks. Do you think he has a right to even speak about it? He's a Nigerian, not a Caribbean, not a Black American. Like he can't tell us when or when to start or stop anything regarding our culture.
He's full of shit. He's full of shit. Godfrey is what you call what's the best word for Godfrey? Godfrey says things that sounds good, but his intent and what he does is wrong. I already knew what God like when every time when he was going to podcasts and defending history as far as with Black culture and stuff like that. I'm all like, yeah, it sounds good, but what's your real motive? Godfrey is full of shit. I would tell him to his face he's full of shit. That's just what it is. He's feeding into a narrative that simply just not true. Everybody knows Jamaicans ain't got no goddamn man. Jamaicans ain't got nothing to do with them creating hip hop. Absolutely nothing. He's full of shit. And I would tell him he's full of shit. To his face. That's just what it is. Jamaica? Really? Jamaica. Yeah, okay.
Yep. So if you have a private account, if you go live, you won't be able to receive gifts. They have taken that option. I see everybody entering the room. Melrose asked about the gifting option. They have taken that away from people with private accounts. Thank you. So combating erasure. How do we protect the specific history of 19th century figures like Mary Ellen Pleasant and Sarah J. Tompkins Garnett from being merged into a general Black narrative?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
Okay. So this question focuses on combating erasure. And I ask, how do we protect the specific history of 19th century figures, right? So we do have Mary Ellen Pleasant, who was very instrumental in financing certain aspects of the Underground Railroad, which had many stations here in New York. And also Sarah J. Tompkins Garnett, who was an educator, if not mistaken, from being merged into a general Black narrative.
Well, the whole foundation of keeping a culture alive in history is the gatekeep. And that's one of the things that, I mean, in every culture, gatekeeps. It's just that when Black Americans do it, we get shamed for it for some reason. Well, it's not for some reason because they want to have their claim to it. But the overall point is that in order for you to keep the history alive, you have to protect the culture. And that means gatekeeping by keeping people who is not a part of the culture out. And once you do that, you're going to preserve the memory of these individuals and their accomplishments. That's the whole basis of it, is just gatekeeping. And that's really where we messed up as far as with integration. We let other ethnic groups in our culture. And this is why we have examples like Puerto Ricans arguing on lies, saying that they helped create hip hop when in fact that they didn't. So that's the whole basis of it. In order for you to preserve and keep the facts, you have to gatekeep. Show the proof, show the documentation, and just gatekeep. Once you gatekeep, they have no claim to it. There's nothing they can do about it, no matter how hard they try.
And I see other states saying how they're starting to get an immigrant issue, and then I try to tell them, don't be nice, do this, do X, Y, Z. Some give me pushback, because sometimes it's about popularity, or we don't want to seem bigoted or prejudiced. But these people have no problem locking us out of things. But I want to take it now to healthcare and professional endeavors, right? So I want to ask you, Shavoo, in your professional experience, have you seen a disparity in the hiring and retention of foundational Black Americans in healthcare compared to other groups? But first, tell us what exactly you do.
Um, I don't really want to get into everything I do, but
That's
I did corrections and I do the nursing field. I'm going to school to get my RN, but I started out as a CNA for a couple of years. But as far as I did traveling work, I worked in nursing homes and stuff like that. But the overall, from my experience, not all of it was bad. There was a lot of good. There was a lot of bad as well. And there have been complaints from patients as far as their treatment, and that goes all across the board. It's not just immigrants, but that's just the healthcare in general. Based on certain nursing homes, but overall, uh, if there have been situations, well, you have to understand nursing is one of the most how do I say, it's very cheap to get in if you know your way, and it's hugely rewarding for it. Meaning that um all you need is an LP. You can get you an LPN license in like a year, and you could be making over 60 grand a year. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's a lot of people in the field, but it's also very, very stressful. Uh, but you have to understand is that it's even getting to the point where people are scamming to get their degrees, like what happened over in Florida. But overall speaking, as far as the treatment of patients, there have been many complaints of Black Americans and their families of how they're being treated by people that are different ethnic groups, even though their skin is melanated. I mean, I've heard it from firsthand accounts, and that makes a huge difference. I think it was in Queens, New York, where a couple of CNAs who were of African or Caribbean descent from, I can't remember. I gotta get the info. All of them were arrested. They got caught on video abusing an elderly man. I can't remember what nursing home it was in Queens, but the man was on the floor bleeding, and they just dragged him to his room and they didn't do anything. And they all got arrested, and they all got their license suspended for elderly abuse and stuff like that. So it's really disheartening for that. And so the overall point is just that we just need to take care and protect our own. As far as the healthcare system in general, there's a history of systemic racism on how the healthcare has neglected the black community as far as treatment and what we need. You know, we can go all the way back to the Tuskegee experiments. You know, from all the way where surgical tools were tested out on Black Americans. But overall speaking, it's a common issue within that field, and it needs to be addressed.
Exactly. So you kind of answered like two or three of my questions with your one answer. But I want to address workplace hostility. What I'm not sure. Have you seen the viral instances of African nurses expressing open disdain for the FBA community? For example, we had the Liberian nurse scandal, where she went and said that she was going to ask Nigerian doctors not to treat foundational Black Americans.
Yes. First of all, that's very very alarming. And me personally, I'm not going to deny care, regardless of my personal feelings. But my overall point is that when she did that, she pretty much violated it. She basically violated her oath and what she did when she got her license. And she did that in response to something that I wasn't even wrong to. So the fact that she's going to neglect her job to, on a specific ethnic group, I mean, that should just tell you one thing. Or what you're not going to see Black Americans say, "Oh, I'm not going to give care to Africans or Caribbeans." Like, you're just not going to see that. And she responded to that to a whole different issue. I can't remember what she was responding to. I forgot. But the fact that she said that, and if I'm not mistaken, her job, she was fired from her job anyway. So that's just professional ethics that she admitted it out her own mouth that she's just not going to uphold.
Can tell you exactly where that stemmed from. So there was some debate as to the term African American. So she visited Afro Leaks Live, who I did invite to the interview because I would really, I met him in your room. I met a lot of great FBA in your room, and then I met some, unsavory characters from the other ethnic groups. But that's neither here nor there. The Liberian came to his panel and said, "Yeah, you're Black American. You're not African. I'm African American." And then even one of her fellow Africans explained to her that she was not African American or Black American, and things would change on the 2030 census. And she just started having meltdowns, like on her panel. Afro went to talk to her on her panel, and it just
Um,
started spiraling. And she started saying, "Do you want a WAR with us? And we're gonna do this and that and that." And it went out of control. And it was, if
oh,
not
she said that. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It was all over the ethnonym African American. And while I have you here, we do know Reverend Jesse Jackson has transitioned. He's no longer with us. Um, so some do not want to take away from the work that he may have done that was good for the community. However, that one mistake of reclassification to African American was horrible. I can't say that it was a good idea. What do you think about that term? If it should be retired, given over to the Africans? How
It's
do
a
you feel about
misnomer at this point. I don't identify as African American at all.
it?
That's a
Right.
misnomer. As far as our classification, Black Americans wasn't always classified as African Americans. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a poll that the majority of Black Americans didn't agree with that census label anyway. So me personally, I don't identify as African American at all. I classify myself as a Black American, foundational Black American, or Negro American. I don't identify as African American. Africa is a continent. Africa is not synonymous with being black.
Exactly. My thoughts uh, is that the same way Obama took Negro out of usage, so should African American. Even though it's erroneous, we weren't always labeled as such. There was a poll stating our elders and ancestors preferred Black or Black American. we've accomplished a lot under there. People like Booker T. Washington, A. Philip Randolph, Elaine Leroy Locke are listed on resources, even if it's not on their birth certificate or census records, as African American. We cannot give that title to the immigrants, but it can be retired. I kind of want to slip back into the hip hop conversation and ask you because I see Mama Ani. She's in a place where Black Americans haven't truly caught up to the delineation movement, and the hip hop talks are circulating in her circle. She wants to know, can you name early pioneers of hip hop that can debunk Kool Herc, his sister, and Fat Joe's claims that hip hop was co-created or created by Herc and Latinos?
It wasn't. There's a movie called Microphone Check already proving that already. I don't need to name names. There's a whole film on that. Why do I need to name them when the proof is there? Just watch Microphone Check. All the interviewers, you got Busy B from DJ Hollywood to the first female MC Shy Rock. They all said the same thing. There were no Jamaicans when we was doing this, or Latinos. Kool Herc endorsed himself from Black American culture when he immigrated over here. And that's a fact. A lot of people didn't even know he was Jamaican because he was Americanized. He was rolling with Black Americans. He talked like a Black American and he dressed like a Black American from the Bronx. There was nothing Jamaican about him. That's just what it was. Colt LaRock said that out of his own mouth. I've known Herc for years. I didn't even know he was Jamaican. He said it out of his own mouth. It's not just like I don't understand why. You see, the issue is that when people when there's proof, people just don't want to accept it. What the hell? Black Americans don't listen to no damn Jamaican music anyway. For like what? We don't. I've never heard nobody say, "Hey yo, pop in that reggae music." I've never heard nobody in Harlem say that. I've never heard my mom listens to music all day, every day. My mom had a big ass gray stereo growing up. I've never heard my mother say, "Baby, go ahead, put in that Bob Marley for me." My mom never bought a Bob Marley record a day in her life. Never. Never. Ain't no reggae artist ever played in my house or any house that was black. I ain't heard it. Ain't nobody listening to no damn reggae music. And especially in the 60s nobody was listening to that. And reggae came from R&B music with Motown. The pioneers of reggae music spoken. There's videos talking about this. They try to copy off of doo-wop singers. If I'm not mistaken, Bob Marley, he was part of a doo-wop group before he did what he did. Ain't nobody listening to no damn reggae music. You ain't gonna find. Listen, I may listen to one reggae music once in a blue moon. Like if Shaggy is on, and what's the name? It Wasn't Me. I'll bump to it. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is funky. But you ain't gonna see a whole bunch of reggae music in my phone, bro. You just not. Don't nobody listen to no damn reggae music.
Okay, Shavoo, we get you. So Bob Marley, he's an interesting story. His son, I believe it's Ziggy,
Got a
came
lot of
out and
kids.
huh? It
My
probably
man
is.
got a lot of kids.
Yeah, I know. He came out and in a statement and he said when Bob Marley first got started, he couldn't tap into Black Americans. His primary audience were like white tea hippies. And so they organized how they could get the Black Americans, get us Black Americans on board to becoming part of Bob's listening, fan base. And so they arranged something at the Apollo in Harlem. So these people strategize because we just don't. And Bob Marley came way before Herc, if not mistaken. So it has
Yeah,
always been
way
a
before.
matter of taste for us. A lot of our elders and ancestors was not listening to Jamaican music. So I want to tell Mama Ani, Microphone Check is by Tariq Nasheed. You can find it on Amazon Prime. If you have a Prime account, I think you could watch it for either a very low price or free. I don't know, but it's over there, okay? And if you follow Rap DNA's page and follow Shavoo, they have a lot of videos. Well, Rap DNA definitely has videos where there's interviews of the early pioneers and Little Kim. acknowledges her North Carolinian roots way before people started saying she was Trinidadian. Just to throw that out there for you. So we do know, going back to your interview question, Shavoo, we do know President Trump has made it so that nursing is not considered a profession that will be covered by federal aid. Have you seen an impact of how that has it impacted those coming into the nursing professionals?
I don't agree with it, but I see what he's getting at. But it's gonna. I mean, gotta hustle. Like I hustle. It is what
Right.
it is. I mean, if it's gonna be like that, then it's just what's gonna be. But I think gonna be there's gonna be other funds helping other people anyway. I don't think it's gonna be cut and dry like that.
While I brought up, thank you. So now we're going to go to policy, economics, and advocacy. Reparations hearings, we're noticing a pattern. Caribbeans specifically are coming up either saying they deserve reparations with us, or they're basically sabotaging us, or they're saying we're not going to advocate for y'all to get reparations. And some are in positions to vote no to bills to specifically study reparations. So the question is, should Afro diasporans be allowed at FBA specific reparation hearings, or is that a violation of the lineage based claim?
No, absolutely not. They got no business being there. No,
Exactly.
is not no is I don't see how. No, they're not qualified for it. So why would they be there?
So I got to tell you, in New York, you know that there's a history of the intra-America slave trade. So port states like New York, even New Jersey and Philly, and I believe Virginia, had it where the Dutch would transport ancestors from New York, from the port states to the Caribbean, and also from the Caribbean to the States. Now, Black Americans with that in their lineage aren't running to CARICOM demanding to be on the docket because we understand ethnogenesis, right? Black Americans understand ethnogenesis, and you are where your ancestor underwent their ethnogenesis. But the Caribbean, and I know this off like the back of my hand, the Caribbean had talks with CARICOM, had talks with the Brits at the UN in April of 2025. The Brits said, we are not giving you direct cash payments. Then the Jamaicans started showing up in New York, I'm going to say about maybe two hearings later, and mentioned the Dutch enslavement era and demanded to be on the docket. I call collusion to that because if anybody, and you don't be on these panels with us, but one moment, because I'm doing an interview one-on-one with Shavoo first, and then I'll allow the panel up. So now, y'all do hear me say that I have the intra-America slave trade in my ancestry, right? I literally descend from those who were enslaved by the Dutch in New York. Sister Keisha also is impacted by the kidnapping clubs in New York. And I think a lot of people forget or don't want to recognize the descendants of those who were enslaved in New York. So I did mention this to the commission director, and she said, your insight is very important to us, and this is what we want. And that was when the reparation hearings first started. Why did it take for the Caribbean months later, hearings later, to say that they should be on the docket? They didn't even know how to describe the history. They didn't connect it to the ancestor that was transported. And then the next hearing, guess what? The Dutch was on the docket. I call that collusion. We're being undermined. They took our hearings off of the website and put it on, okay? Put it on YouTube. I was horrified. And it's race-based. So shout out to the U.S. Freedmen's Project, who has sat with a Senator, Nikki Lucas, who is going to actually, well, they've written a more constitutionally sound bill. Now it's a matter of just performative measures, but also trying to get them to repeal the race base. But we could go over that
It's not.
as
It's not
well.
gonna work. You can't favor a bill favoring race. It's not gonna work. That's
Right.
illegal.
Yep. And they know this. They know this.
It's just
Um,
after sabotage. It's not. It doesn't really mean anything. It's lip
yeah,
service.
yeah, at this point. And it's lip service until 2027. One moment, Rufus, because I'm having a one-on-one interview with Shavoo, and then I open the panel up afterwards. I do give interviews here, Rufus. I'm a journalist. So I want to focus on the architects of group economics. Can group economics be successfully implemented today, and who are the historical FBA figures we should look to as the blueprints?
I mean, group economics can work. It can work. We just gotta focus it beyond code. It works. Um, it's like what Dr. Claude Anderson said. Once you get the money, build communities, and you get people from your communities to represent y'all in political positions that's going to favor y'all. That's going to focus on getting certain policies passed in favor of us. That's all. It's always going to be like that. That's just all. That's what it comes down to. When you build families, you build communities. Build communities, you get the money. You get the money, you pay these politicians because it's really about the money. Who has the most money? Who's willing to pay to represent us? And that's just what it is. And overall, the Democrats and the Republicans, there's just two sides. There's just two sides of the same coin. They're not going to help us. It's not. They're not going to help us. It's up to the people.
Exactly. So this is weird because I don't try to run long interviews, but I do have a portion of my interviews where I call it the vibe check. And you know, Shavoo, what a vibe check is, right? And it's only right if I give the vibe check to my people. So I
I
have
don't
some
know what that
questions.
is. What is that?
That's where when Dreadhead Kingpin says it's like they're playing good cop, bad cop, talking about the party. A vibe check is where we ask not where your people is from, but where you put them plastic bags in your kitchen.
Under
What your
this
Sunday
sink.
dinner look like? Stuff like that. So let me give you your questions, all right? We're just checking your temperature a little bit, so to speak. So it's
Sure.
the vibe check is cultural authenticity. That's what we could equate it to. So now we go into the drink section. Pick your lane: cognac, henny, E&J, or malt liquor.
I don't really drink like that. Like,
All right. Well, no.
I don't really drink like that. That's not. It's not really been my thing.
Let me ask you a question because you are from New York, and I know we be talking about the Latinos. But would it ever be coquito season for you? Because if you know, you know.
You said the what?
Would it ever be coquito season for you?
No.
Okay. If y'all don't know, coquito is a drink similar to pina colada, primarily that the Latinos make. Puerto Ricans,
I don't drink
obviously
that
known to
shit.
make
That
it.
shit is nasty.
And some of them sell it. I gotta tell you, my neighbor gives it to me. I accept. I love a good pina colada.
I don't want any of that shit. That shit is nasty. I don't want that. That's just me. I
You
don't
don't.
really.
You're so biased. You don't like nothing. I don't listen to
I'm not
reggae
being
food. I'm
biased.
not reggae.
Listen, I'm not being biased. If I like something, I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just being honest. It's like I never liked that shit. Like it's not never been my thing. I drink liquor on some occasions, but I rarely drink. I may go to a bar and have me, some whiskey or something like that, or what I'm saying, some or Long Island iced tea, maybe once every year or something like that. I don't even drink like that.
That's good. That's really good. I don't encourage. If drinking is not your thing, this is all in good jest.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not against it. I
yeah,
just don't. I just never really got around to it. It's not just been that. It's never been my thing.
yeah. So I want to tell everybody, if you haven't noticed, TikTok has updated their terms, policies. One thing is that if you're a private account, you cannot have gifts. You cannot be gifted. They did give me a flash goal. Nobody sent the rose up, so I guess you still can't give with a flash goal. But I did drop my CA. Can't say the real word. Every dollar does count. Okay, I am independent, but it wasn't. Huh?
No, I'm sorry. I just yawned. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so I'm taxed with, do I open my platform for some gifts and disruption of my peace, or just keep it like it is? My platform is a safe space. an echo chamber, and I'm gonna keep it private. Thank you. So I'm gonna continue with the vibe check. We're going into the home remedies. Name one thing all foundational Black Americans swear by to cure any and all ailments. The one your grandmother always had in the cabinet, or maybe in the fridge.
Boy. Ginger ale.
Bingo, because that's exactly what I was thinking of. But how many of your grannies had was it cod liver oil?
Uh, my mother and my grandmother, they heavy ginger ale drinkers. Like, and my mom fell sick. I think she either drinks Schweppes. She doesn't like Canada Dry. She only drinks Schweppes.
Okay. So I have another good debate. It might cause a little mini riot, depending on who you ask. Does okra go in gumbo?
No, I don't even like okra.
I only like fried okra.
Fried okra's alright.
Yeah. And Keita says that's the only soda I drink. It's called Verner's, made in Michigan. So Keita is from Flint. So
Oh, that's what's up.
that's what she drinks is ginger ale. So now we're going to the R&B hierarchy. So I want you to rank these groups from 1 through 4. And I'm kind of out of touch, with the millennials and their music. But I do have Jodeci, B2K, H-Town, or Immature.
H-Town.
That's number 1.
For me, yeah.
Can you
I
put
think
the other?
I think. Well, wait. Give me the list again.
Okay. So it is Jodeci, B2K, H-Town, or Immature.
Okay. As far as like what resume, I'll say Jodeci, then H-Town. And B2K is last. Oh my lord, please. Um, yeah, I will put Jodeci, then H-Town, Immature, then B2K.
Okay. Now for the final question of the vibe check, I have the songstress standard. Whitney, Mariah, Mary J. Blige, or Sade. Who is the one that no one can contest?
Are we talking singing wise or resume?
I'm talking singing wise. Who is your favorite? No one can compare you. If you had to listen to one artist for the rest of your life, type shit, who would it be? Because for my daddy, who's 80, it would be Sade.
It's a tie between Mary J. Blige and Mariah Carey. Mary J. Blige's resume is her. What's the 411 is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like we talking about top 10, mate. We're talking about all across the board. That's like one of my favorite albums of all time. Whitney Houston is great. I'm not disrespecting her by all means, but I mean I was born in the '90s, and by the time Whitney already made her thing. So like as far as like my personal taste, as far as resume singing ability, I'll probably have to go with Mary J. Blige because of her blend of R&B and hip hop. That's just me.
So Mama Ani agrees. She says resume is good for MJB, but voice ain't there. There's not another voice compared to Whitney. Keita
Mariah
says
Carey, vocal talent, I have to give it to Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame for a reason.
that octave, right? When she has a 3-octave pitch. I don't know.
She
I ain't in music, y'all.
her vocal range is just, I mean, it's not the same as Whitney's. It's just different.
Yeah. More like, I believe her mother was an opera singer, and that's who kind of sort of probably trained her in early life.
Yeah.
It's not
Now
the
with
same.
Sade, I get hate for this. I really don't care. Sade only got 2 albums, bro. Like I ain't. Ugh.
Shout out to FBA Vamp. He did enter the room. FBA Vamp is the originator of the
Her last
FBA
good
safe space.
album was like in the '90s. Was it Love Deluxe? I didn't like
I,
Lovers Rock, and I didn't like Soldier of Love. Soldier of Love was I didn't really like that album like that.
Don't worry, I won't tell my dad because he just loves when he comes to the house, and he's an old timer, so he got a little thing he clips to his side and they play a little music. And I believe it's his phone, but his phone is like Obama-ish type. We're trying to get him a new one now.
You said what?
And Sade, he will not stop playing Sade, even if it's instrumental. He just loves Sade. And he's
Oh, you talking
80.
about your pops? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. He was born in Harlem too. I
Oh
was
okay.
raised in the Bronx. Yeah. Yeah, he was the first out of his siblings to be born. So he's the first New York born, and his family definitely migrated up from South Carolina in the 1940s. So
Like Sade, like, all right. Here's my thing with Sade. Like, I can replace Sade with Erica Badu. I will listen to Erica Badu over Sade any time of the week.
right.
Like, like, I, in my opinion, there are way better artists that came after Sade that's better than her. And I grew up in. I think Jill Scott is a better artist than Sade by far, and I don't even think it's close.
Hmm.
Jill
Well,
Scott, I listened to Jill Scott since I was a kid. Like that, like the Philly R&B era. You had Kendrick Soul and all those other people. You have Music Soul Child. Jill Scott is a better art, is a way better artist than Sade, and I think it's not close. It's
right.
not close,
Well, Vamp is disagreeing. He said Sade is perfect. She's very soothing.
man. I ain't trying
And
to
he
hear
doesn't
that.
feel, I think Jill Scott is a better performer
She's
than
she's
Sade.
a better songwriter than Sade.
And Zakita says Erica definitely that girl. Mama Ani says Floetry and India RV are nice. I'd
I
like
don't
to
like Flow Tree.
enter.
Flow Tree's alright.
I
India
like
R India RE is golded. I'll give
she's
you that.
voted.
That's my baby
Okay.
right there. I ain't gonna hold
I
you.
stopped liking her when she was kissing all on David Banner. I was like, can you get off my husband, please? That's it. But I'd like to enter Ari Lennox into the chat. I love me some Ari. I
Oh
think
yeah, I
that's
like
a
yeah.
yeah.
She's underrated in some aspects.
Hmm.
But like I said, man, like growing up, like a lot of people don't know who Rez is, the singer Rez from Philly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a
Thank
lot
you,
of people don't
Kia.
listen to that.
Thank you,
I
Mama.
still I listen to Rez even to this day. How I Do, great debut album, came out when I was a kid. Was it 2001? 700 Mile Situation. They Say, How Do I Do? Golden Boys. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's other artists that I listen to that I like it. Like I don't really fawn over Sade's resume. I just don't. I'm not denying her impact, but for my personal taste, like it's like I don't like caramel. I want chocolate. You're caramel.
Okay, I guess it's better than red bone, yellow bone. We'll just be food today, Shabba. Uh,
You said what?
I said, well, I guess we'll just be food today because I guess it's better to be calling than to be called yellow bone, red bone, and all this other bone stuff, right?
Yeah, it's I'm
We'll
not.
take
I
some
mean,
chocolate
Sade
and
is great.
caramel. What
Sade
about
is
some
great.
mocha caramel and butter pecan caramel and we all assorted flavors. But so I kind of want to go in. So you see the platform, the vision for my platform. You get how I'm trying to revamp my platform. So I do have some feedback questions for you, Shabu, before we finally close out with the last question. Hey, Chris. So for the Echo Chambers mission, what do you think should be the ultimate goal in 2026? Hi,
What
my
do you mean?
halo.
You mean for Black Americans?
For the how I can help amplify their voices, because that's my mission, right? Those who are stomping the yard for the lineage, I like to interview them and bring a
I
spotlight to
mean,
their work and give
I
them.
mean, just be authentic in your message and just do what you can. That's all. I mean, that's the only thing I can do. I mean, I'm gonna just say this to all Black Americans. Period. Focus on your, be the best version in yourself before the community, because I mean, your life and your priorities come first and foremost. I encourage everybody to work on whatever needs that you need before you help the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very important to take care of yourself. Worry about your health. Make sure you take care of yourself, your physical and mental health. If you have children, husband, wife, take care of them. Make sure your household is good first. Because I want everybody to succeed, especially in my community. You know what I'm saying? If you like it, I love it. But to be X, just just make sure you're authentic. Just make sure you take care of yourself first before you do anything else.
Yes, sir. Because we can't help nobody if we can't help ourselves first. So I can agree with that. And you won't be at your A1 to stomp your yard if your health is failing. So also remember, sometimes you gotta unplug. You do. You really have to unplug because I don't. Being on this app and hearing your ancestors ain't doing nothing they was forced to do. You ain't do that, you this, and you that, and the hood this. It really plays on your mental health. It's what you feed into your spirit that you're gonna, emit to the world. Emit to the lineage. So it's best to do some self care, some self love, and get some self rest, and do some self pampering. Y'all go get that pedicure, even to our men. And so I do have calls to actions as we wrap up. I will be dropping the links in the chat by now. Just hold down my comment, copy it to your clipboard, and then go ahead and sign those emails for us. Digital
Mm.
optimization. So, Shavoo, let me ask you, how can we ensure
Mm.
our FBA narratives are optimized for visibility on platforms like yours on TikTok without them being suppressed?
Wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Okay. So how can we ensure our FBA narratives or FBA history accurate accounts are optimized for visibility on platforms like TikTok? Because I'm finding that a lot of our rooms are now being suppressed.
I mean, just do what you can, I guess. Get a lot of voices, do a lot of reposting. I mean, you can't stop it. But if TikTok becomes to the point to where y'all can't consume, there's always gonna be other platforms. That's just it what
Exactly.
it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to do final thoughts in closing. I want to define the claim. What is one message you want the FBA superfan community to take away regarding cultural ownership?
Gatekeep, god damn it. Gatekeep. Don't let these
Who?
people fool you.
Yeah. So the first call to action is Sister Brooke and Brother Divine's U.S. Freeman's Project. Not sure if you have that, Shavoo, but that's asking for a delineation bill for New York, similar to what Cali has, and similar to what Mina was able to successfully do. And one problem area for me is our politicians, Black Americans. They go ahead and they help others delineate, but when we ask them to support our delineation bills, they don't do it. They voice
Mm.
opposition. So that's the first call to action. Shavu, if you're not aware, just copy that to your clipboard if you can. The
Okay.
second one is Brother Simons. If you didn't know, he is a lobbyist and he has a delineation bill trying to have them recognize our self identifier, Black American Negroes, descendants of freedmen. So there
Cool.
will
I'll
be
vote
no,
for it.
huh?
I'll vote for it.
Yep. So copy that to your clipboard, or if you need me to, I could go ahead and put these in your inbox.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can send all that stuff to me.
okay, so those in the chat, if y'all haven't, please copy those to your clipboard. And my little baby here is New York wasn't built by immigrants. Demand Mandani's retraction. Now, I started my call for him to retract his statements before the podcaster had the opportunity to put it in, present it to him. So, Ma'am Danny, but she was the vessel who was able to get close enough to him. She asked Mandami about his statements. He issued a retraction. She has a lovely platform. I see that she's able to go to certain events and stuff, but he disrespected us on a main stage, right? He totally erased the ancestors' part of building this city, if not the whole nation, right? So the disrespect was loud on the main stage. I'm still pushing my email campaign because he will apologize to us on a main stage, the same place he disrespected them. Now there are New Yorkers saying he could keep that apology, but I ain't that New Yorker. So if it's in your heart, please go ahead and fill it out, and it's very easy. It's already addressed to him. All you gotta do is fill in the information, which is multiple choice, and then just hit send, and we're good to go. So, Shavu, please tell us where can people follow uh, you, your platform, and what do you
I,
expect for
I
people
stopped.
who? Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. So, how can people follow you on TikTok and what can they expect from your platform?
Uh, I'll send it. Oh, this is my other account. I'll show them my. It's was it Shavoo 95 and stuff like that. I mean, it's the way it's spelled. It's nothing hard. What can they expect? I guess the base on history and the truth on our community, and a lot of laughs and roasting. But I'm in between. I'm not always on TikTok. I'll be busy and stuff like that. So um, if I when people disagree, I'll let them out. Anybody who want to voice their opinion, they're more than welcome to come up. That's really the basis of it. I'm just another Black American part of the community. That's all. There are other people who are doing a lot more than I am, like the EX and Afro Elite. I'm just working hard, doing what I do every day. So
Well, I got to tell you, I find it admirable that you said you want to serve your community and you chose to do that in healthcare because of things like medical apartheid and those sorts. Correct?
yeah,
Right. Right. You could be anywhere in the world doing anything on the globe, and you choose to ride for your people by ensuring they are treated fairly in healthcare. That's very admirable, Shavoo.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I have a question that I don't know how it slipped my mind, and it wasn't on my notes.
Mm.
So, New York, we did state that a lot of our history was erased or pretty much hidden. I personally, the one time I was able to sit and talk with him on Afro Lease Live, I asked him about putting a hidden history museum in New York. He says somewhere further down the line. What do you feel about a hidden history museum here in New York or actually collaborating with filmmakers because Tyreek shouldn't be expected to put every part of he has his own projects, his own passions, and collaborating on documentaries regarding New York's history, not only just hip hop.
That would be dope. I would support it, but I think it's gonna come with a lot of pushback from people that's not Black American.
Well,
I already know what's gonna come, but yeah, I'm with that. That's dope. In the city, of course.
yeah. Wani asked upstate. The possibilities are
Upstate,
endless.
upstate.
uh, so we don't
She
really
being
consider
funny.
upstate New York until I found out the hip hop sound is in Buffalo, New York hip hop sound. Benny the Butcher, people like that. Also,
Yeah, Benny's Butcher is cold.
yeah, see, we do like upstate when it's beneficial.
Nah, I
And
got
then
no problem
Juneteenth,
with upstate. That's just a joke what other New Yorkers be saying about
yeah.
it.
But listen, oh, the African American Day Parade, people are trying to get that name change. I want to say this, Shabu. For all the hell the Caribbean gave us oh, you have family upstate? Okay. Wani says, no, I have family upstate because you know why, right? So here's the issue. For all the hell the Caribbean gave us in the city about Juneteenth, upstate New York, Buffalo, I saw like highlights and they've been doing it, excuse me, for 50 years. And I have no problem with the way they do it, all history and everything. Do you know they even had a RBG flag? I got to tell you. But the RBG flag did not take away from their content because the content was lineage based. So you would support so the documentaries would be made. I mean, they can't contest that. And they
Mhm.
can't contest the history of it because I don't mean like modern day history.
Right.
Okay, so my platform, I host open panels and I call it Destroying the Narrative of Tetherville. And I go throughout all periods, reconstruct. Yeah, because they're calling us Tetherville. So what I'm doing is showing that Ma'am Dummy, who I call Ma'am Dummy, is incorrect. It was foundational Black Americans, U.S. freedmen, right? Black Americans, Negro, colored, mulatto, Creoles that built New York. And I go throughout Reconstruction, what else? Emancipation, civil rights. I go through all of that stuff. Redlining, segregation, and show who were the true freedom fighters here. We even had a man named David Ruggles. He was an abolitionist And do you know the catchers said they wanted to take his head off? That's how wicked he was to those folks. But I'm gonna wrap it up. I hear you got some people in the background. Is there anything that you want to touch on
No,
that
I
I
got
may
nobody
have
in the
forgotten?
background. You just hear my TV.
Ah, you playing? You couldn't put the game down?
No, no, I was watching something. I just
Okay.
left it on.
No problem. So, can you tell me if there's anything that you feel you would like to contribute before we shut down? Something I may not have asked.
No, no, I don't really have anything.
Okay, so I have a question.
I don't.
Did
I
you?
don't really. I don't. It's the first time somebody asked me for an interview.
Uh, okay. I'm happy I could be your first interview. Hopefully you be in. Plus, I love the way that you stand 10 toes down. Your room is a little triggering for me with the Latino. I think I've been threatened more than a little bit by the Latinos in there.
Did you see the message that I posted with the other Latino, the Dominican from the Bronx
Yeah.
who claimed he a blood?
Yeah.
First, man, let me be positive. I ain't even.
But I asked you when we was going, pow not pow like with a pew pew, but I mean,
No, I
boom
know,
boom with
if I see him in the street, I will stomp him out. He
okay,
called my
okay,
mother.
don't
He
say
called my
that. Don't
mother.
say that. You got to code that.
He
So.
called my mother a cum bucket. I said, excuse me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I showed the whole message. He messages me out the blue after I posted the whole what was it? I think I posted it was about the Michael B. Jordan incident with the white dude with the disease who shouted out the N-word. And there was a British Caribbean person who was splaining and covering for the white dude. And I posted them all like, yo, they all here they go, explaining for white folks. And then he messaged me out the blue, threatening me and all that other shit. I'm like, no, you ain't gonna do nothing, man. Talking about that's on blood and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's a lame. He's a lame. Like I'm not scared of some Caribbean about some Dominican who talk and act like he black, but it's crazy.
It is crazy, especially nowadays. A lot of the younger generation that I knew who were in those type of GANGS are actually saying they don't want to know nothing about that. They're trying to work and survive, and some have families now. Like there's I think it's an age limit to that shit. At some point in time, they get tired. They realize that's not the way of life and they go on to other ventures, whether they officially leave it or not, because I don't think you can leave without recourse. But right now, a lot of them are focusing on working, raising their families, things of that nature. And here he is keeping up that type of talk on this platform, which shows me he's taking out aggression here on this platform because he probably got punked in real life in these New York City streets. And that's what I think a lot of the Latinos and Caribbean in them that be lying on this app be going through. The ones that's quick to kind of threaten you is because they face some type of resistance to whatever they were doing in the street. Right? So Ife has her hand up. That is officially the end of the questions that I have for Shavoo. If you want to stick around, if somebody wants to come up on the panel and just talk with us for a while, I'm down for it. I don't have any other plans. If not, I'll go ahead and shut it down. So you could send your request now if you want. And thank you, Ife, for becoming a member of my super fan community. Okay. Mama Ani, Kita.
Wait. Was there somebody with a question for me?
I don't know. I think Ife is basically saying, hey, but Rufus did try to come up, and I think Mia Love, but they might have scrolled on because I did tell them it was a one-on-one conversation. Oh, Ife is just saying hi.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's up?
Did you like the graphic to the backdrop, Shavoo?
Yeah, it's dope. I wish I knew how to make that.
I'm gonna give you a secret because I gatekeep a lot of things, but I don't gatekeep stuff like resources that can help you as a digital get your graphics on. Use Gemini. Gemini is a Google app, right? So you go to Google, go and look at where they have listed email, drives, stuff like that, and look for Gemini. Just click Gemini, and it's going to ask you, what would you like to work on? Say,
Don't you
create
gotta
an
pay for that?
image. So they have the free plan, which will still create an image. It just won't be, fantastic. And then they have the one for 19.99 a month, and you have the option to pay, I think, 6 months or annually. Hi,
Oh, okay.
Murdoch. hmm So I want to say thank you to everybody coming out. I went to set my gift goal, and they told me my account was private, so I can't have gifts. But every dollar counts, and you could hit the CA because I can't say the real word for it on TikTok, or you could just gift me on another platform. I'm very appreciative.
Looking at that makes me miss home. I ain't even gonna hold you.
I know, and it's beautiful, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna hold you. It
How
made
did
me.
you feel when you returned home, Shavoo? You did come for a recent visit, correct?
Yeah, last year when I'm gonna go see my uncle.
Did you notice the change of New York? I noticed a gloom.
Yeah, it's a change. It's gentrified, but it was still places where it's like it's kind of depressing, but it was good to be home. But it was still kind of depressing. It's not what it once was.
So there's a lot of talk. Some people is like, I just screw New York. New York ain't worth saving. I say that we have ancestors buried in this land. As you can see, God is coming here to visit our ancestors' final resting place. What do you say? New York is worth saving, or just let the immigrants have it and continue running amok?
Nah, I wouldn't say let them have it, but I mean, if it's anything is worth saving. So that just is what it is. Because if Black Americans would be taken out of New York City will lose cultural relevance. Like it's going to be lame.
Facts. And I would just like to remind people that immigrants have the power of media. Yvette Clarke, who wrote the Caribbean Count Bill, also founded. One minute, I got to do the puzzle. Okay, thank you. I also had to do the puzzle, sorry. Yvette Clarke, who's very problematic, she holds a record number of memberships or chairs on these caucuses. She even created a caucus, I think it's multicultural media. So she founded a caucus for media. We do know she's on the Caribbean caucus, the Haitian caucus, and she's in charge of the CBC. She wrote the Caribbean Count Bill in 2009, which is an official delineation bill for the Caribbean. They've been getting a separate checkbox on certain forms, which I believe is the census, and attached to that is some funding that goes to it. But when the U.S. Freeman asks for support, she's silent. Also, with her creating the media opportunities or the caucus to push for media opportunities, if she's not helping us delineate as she helped her own people, that's why I say they got the power of media. You could see the Caribbean on Juneteenth being spotlighted. You could see the Hispanics being spotlighted during February. And you could find Fat Joe doubling down that he should say the N word, and they co created hip hop, which I want to ask you, Shavoo. Jada Kiss and Fat Joe has this new podcast. I don't know the name, don't care to know the name. But the highlights that I've seen is Jada Kiss being really hush hush when Fat Joe is saying things like, well, in the Bronx, the blacks and Puerto Ricans are all mixed babies. We mixed together. In the Bronx, we created hip hop, like just blatant lies. Fat Joe has also gone after Doggy Diamonds, who shuts him down all the time. What do you say about podcasts like that and those who platform Fat Joe knowing he's lying?
I mean, I got no issue with Jadakiss, but I mean, it's listen. These guys knew each other from way back. It's a hip hop thing, but we all know what we stand with Fat Joe. Me personally, I would just ignore it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. And Jadakiss ain't gonna listen, but it's like just ignore it. Just gatekeep, keep, keep. You know, telling the truth, and that's the only thing we can do. And Fat Joe know what it is. He's annoying. I'm tired of Fat Joe.
He is, and we do know that he lost the opportunity to co-host or host
Yeah,
the
work on some
BET.
weak ass album that nobody bought.
Right, because he went after Tariq Nasheed and FBA, called us some broke this and broke that, said he and proved he doesn't understand Black American history because he said, oh, they say it started here, down there, and then they come up with this and that. Our migration path and how the South came up and meshed is my favorite word with New York City culture, and we created the beautiful culture that you see in New York. Also, the Caribbean are making a play for the Harlem Renaissance Shavoo. I promise this might be my last question. What do you feel about them saying, because somebody was either bi-ethnic or Caribbean, that they were instrumental in the Harlem Renaissance?
The Harlem Renaissance started from Black Americans. That's just what it is. Keep talking about this ethno man. That really doesn't really make a difference. It really doesn't. They just use whatever talk force they can to try to insert themselves in our history. That's just another weak ass talking point that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And I would like to remind everybody that one lone Caribbean migrating to places like New York migrated into an already ongoing movement, and that they are highlighted over our foundational Black American heroines, figures, icons, is a harm of Pan Africanism because it teaches us to dislike our flag, have a disdain for the country that our ancestors literally built. Our ancestors didn't go to Liberia. We descend from the ones who stayed, fought, was attacked, ambushed, but still managed to thrive where we had all Black towns, thriving towns, until urban renewal happened, a jealousy from the pale immigrants happened, and then integration of the melanated immigrants into our communities started displacing us and kind of affecting the fabric of our community. So I argue that two systems that harmed us the most was integration and immigration. And I'm in the fight for New York, even if I go back to the South. That's my purpose. I want all of our history told. I want our ethnic autonomy to be respected, our cultural boundaries not to be passed. And I want everybody to properly identify because, yes, mass deportations is nice, but we're not going to get out everybody. So they got to learn to respect us first, or we could lock them out at every opportunity. I'm supporting continuing the African braiding hair shop boycotts. I stopped going to the Caribbean restaurants. And I've way been boycotting the Asians. Even in New York, it's possible to affect their pockets, right? The same way we treat white tea, we have to treat the melanated immigrants to address and correct the centuries or decades of disrespect. And a month ain't going to cut it. Boycotting is not a moment, it's not a month, it's a lifestyle. That means forever. And on that, Shavoo, I'd like to say thank you for interviewing with me on my platform. And when this is uploaded, I will give you the link to my YouTube and go ahead and watch all the other videos, and it'll help you get caught up to speed on where we at in New York in this erasure and the intricate people who have been battling it for years now. So you could, tap in with them as well.
Cool.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, with that, I want to wish my foundational Black Americans peace, love, light, and reparations. I love us for real. Be one,
All right.
family. Be one.
A specific person, but we definitely need leadership and motivation to make sure that our initiatives are getting pushed through. Because even when it comes to parties, a lot of times we put our trust into parties because they're pandering to our trauma. And when it's time to do the things that we want them to do, it's not done. So, we definitely need a stronger way to communicate.
From ancient tales tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.